still in front? I said, is there a car in front?
Oh, Fairy, Florence was speaking to you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Florence. I was just watching the fireflies. What'd you say? I said, can you see if they've left yet? You know, I wish I would have brought a cat so I could see in the dark.
I don't think I'm gonna wait for her. I'm gonna get a book and go back to my room.
Does your dog hurt tonight, Jeff?
Not bad.
Then stay a little longer. We'd like to have you.
Jeff, you've already invested 267 minutes in waiting. Surely you can afford an additional 10 cents worth.
All right, my statistical friend. My curiosity is good for 10 minutes more.
Oh, I wonder what she's like. Miss Willie says they're the wealthiest family in America.
Oh, that's bad. She has some expensive cameras she can't work. I read about some artists I've never heard of.
Oh, cynic. Has money spoiled me?
Do you have money, Fairy?
Facts. Let's not be prejudiced about money. Some of my best friends are wealthy. Hannibal, play something while we wait. Help distract Jeff.
Well, you catch me tuned. What shall it be?
Surprise us.
How about a gypsy jardage?
Oh, please don't play that gypsy music, Hannibal. It frightens me.
Frightens you?
Terrifies me. I was stolen by gypsies when I was a child and rescued just as they're about to dye my skin in walnut juice. But, well, I was. Go ahead, Hannibal. Oh, you know, I hope she likes music. Maybe she plays an instrument herself. The harp. Oh, I hope she plays the harp. Oh, I'm sorry, Hannibal. Go ahead. I was raised on harp. My father, like an angel. Jeff, what are you doing?
I was just trying to get a book from the top. I'm sorry, Hannibal.
Fairy, get the book for Jeff so we can listen to Hannibal. All right, I'll get a chair.
Never mind, Fairy, I can get it.
Oh, climbing on chairs is woman's work. Men have mountains. Now, which book do you want?
The Lifespan of the Ape.
You look at the strangest books in this library. I couldn't get into Forbidden to Death. Oh, wow. It's amazing what standing a book people does. Do you know that I feel smarter than anyone in the whole world?
The orange one.
Books are in my blood. My mother invented the filing system at New York Library. She was queen of cross index.
I'll get Jeff's book, Fairy.
No! Musicians shouldn't work. Be careful, Barry. Don't get dust in your eyes. Wouldn't you like animal husbandry? I can reach that.
This time it's got to be The Lifespan of the Ape. Who's it out with this?
Oh, alright. Oh!
Lights! Turn the lights back on!
Don't let me fall! And we'll get to the swing before someone is hurt.
Please, turn the lights back on!
Oh.
Lights!
Please, Mrs. Patty, let us keep the lights on.
God, it looks like Mrs. Patty's back.
Oh. Some night you're going to turn out all the lights at the wrong time and hurt somebody. Then you'll be sorry. Oh, I do wish you'd chosen something else to go for Lent.
It's not fair to make the rest of us suffer to get you to heaven, Mrs. Patty.
Other people like electricity.
For the love of Kate Barry, what are you doing up there?
I was just trying to get a book for Jeff.
With a violin bow?
I couldn't quite reach it.
Well, I certainly didn't mean to cause all this commotion. Forget it.
No! I'll get the book. Right. I got it. Everyone watch his own head. Timber! There you are, Jeff. You may take the bow now, Miss Willie. You may take my hand, Animal.
The next time anybody wants a book from the top, Barry, please call me. Somebody would have gotten hurt.
Oh, whoever heard of getting hurt by a good book?
Enough of them, my darling. And I'd hate for that to happen.
I hate everything in this world, but most of all, I hate cold cream, hot dogs, codfish, crawfish, catfish, sheep dip, sawdust, subway, sewers, skewers, pins, puns, pens, policemen, and electricity.
How much longer do we have to wait, Miss Willie? What is she like, Miss Willie?
Oh, I haven't seen her. Barry, would you please put the purchasing board away? Let's tidy the room a bit. It's taking an awfully long time in the front hall.
Is she young or old, Miss Willie?
All I know is that her name is Savage, and she gets the girl.
Oh, well, I hope she isn't beautiful. Competition does exhaust me.
Willie, don't call me that, please. It's a pet name my wife uses.
Forgot.
I wish you wouldn't single me out to kiss.
But you're the handsomest.
What would my wife say if she saw a stranger, if she came to call and saw a strange woman kissing me? She'd explode.
What if I know her?
Would you please try to remember?
Forgive me.
Ting-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling! Hello?
Hello? Oh, yes, Doctor. Right away. Hannibal, please put the dartboard away. Very.
Will we meet her now?
Please, let's not make a mess, and let's get everything together, okay?
Awesome. We haven't had anyone here exciting except for that magician's wife. Remember? She was all afraid of being sawed up in half. What was her name?
Ooh, something hyphenated.
Oh, I forget. But she did have color. My relations are so drab. Both of my parents were albinos.
Really, Fairy, you shouldn't invent such things.
Well, they were. Emotional albinos.
Oh, Fairy, don't peek. So degrading to get on your knees.
You get on your knees to pray, right? I'll say a prayer. Dear God, let me see something.
Ooh, see anything?
Oh, yes, I do. God was quick.
Well, what do you see?
Someone coming in Dr. Emmett's office. Who? 1, 2, 3 strange people. They're coming this way. Quick, let's hide in a hole and eavesdrop.
Is that ethical, Jeff?
You'd want to be sent out anyhow.
We could call it espionage.
Come on, Mrs. Patty. We're gonna spy.
I'll grab the light switch. It's rude to let guests enter a dark room.
This is the last time I'll be a party for you, Fairy. It like simply ruins my mad ones.
So I mustn't get excited. I'll get hiccups and betray us.
Dr. Emmet will join you in just a moment.
Please tell the doctor that if there's nothing more, we would like to get going.
Yes, Senator. There's cigarettes and magazines on the table. Please make yourself at home.
Well, what do you think of it now, Titus? Are you reassured?
Somewhat, but it certainly doesn't look like an institution.
Not at all.
Mother will be content and happy here, I'm sure. It's a charming place.
I just hope we haven't made a mistake.
Darling, the only mistake we made was in not taking steps sooner.
I don't like to be thought as an insensitive, Lily Bell. It would have been better just to have kept her at home with an attendant.
That would have been disastrous.
You're hard.
Someone has to be practical.
No, you're calloused. You married too many foreigners.
Samuel, darling. We've done what had to be done. Let's not quarrel about it, please.
Now, Lily Bell is right. This is civilized behavior.
I'm sorry to have delayed you. I was anxious to have Dr. Johnson question your mother.
This is quite a place you have here, Doctor. We've found it a pleasure to find it so charming.
But we are assured that your place offered the best that money could buy.
We hope we offer the best that experience can provide.
Oh, there was one thing I meant to ask you, Doctor. Will my mother be exposed to any danger here?
Not at all. My guests in this wing are in their final stage of treatment. They're extremely kind and cooperative. On the surface, most of them would seem as normal as, say yourself, Senator.
You don't say.
While we're waiting, I'd like to ask a few more questions about this memorial fund of your mother's.
Well, I'm afraid that there's little more to tell about it.
The newspapers called it her happiness fund.
Was this indifference to money something recent?
Well, I wouldn't say so.
She's always given money to foolish causes.
Would you mind being more specific?
Well, I mean, there was this Italian farmer who wanted a box of soil from Italy.
Just dirt.
She spent $200 to get it for him.
Then, of course, there was this flower peddler who wanted a tombstone for his horse.
He got it.
After father died, this obsession got progressively worse. Last summer, she chartered a ship to send 1,000 school children around the world.
Why?
She said that they ought to go around the world while there's still a world to go around.
We stopped her just as she was on the verge of setting up the fund legally.
With a board of directors.
With a fantastic board of directors. Not a banker, a bishop, or a lawyer among them.
Whom did she choose?
A postman, a gardener, a vegetarian, and herself.
We should have known her mind was going the day she decided to go on stage.
I mean, have you ever heard of such a thing, Doctor? What would make a woman of her age want to become an actor?
Unique is routine here, Senator, and nothing surprises us.
If she had been talented or even vain, I could have understood it.
She wasn't. She was shy, timid even. And then suddenly this great change.
Grief did it.
But why turn to acting?
Life has enough drama in it, doesn't it?
God knows.
Isn't that right, Doctor?
As Judge Savage says, God knows.
I wish you would explain those stuffed animals to us.
Obvious exhibitionism.
Exactly.
She took a childish delight being seen everywhere with those stuffed animals.
Anything to indulge her sudden need for notoriety.
Her entire conduct was a travesty of dignity and self-respect.
And sound business.
Has there ever been like a similar pattern of behavior in your mother's family?
Frankly, I wouldn't know.
You see, Doctor, she's not our real mother. Father remarried when we were children.
Now that has never made any difference in how we thought about her.
Well, I'm sorry I can't be of much help to you until I've had time to observe her conduct here.
You're the doctor.
We know she'll be comfortable in such a charming place.
I beg your pardon, Dr. Emmett, but Dr. Johnson won't be able to complete Mrs. Savage's case file for the moment. Why not? He finds her a little uncooperative.
Bring her in here then, please. While you're saying goodbye, I have to talk with Dr. Johnson.
Oh, please don't go.
Please, Doctor. Doctor, we preferred if you had stayed. I think it's better for all involved if we made this as quick as possible.
She's vindictive.
For some reason, Doctor, she holds me responsible.
I'm afraid we're going to have to give her a little bit more time to get over this resentment.
Will you come in here, Mrs. Savage?
Will you have a seat, Mrs. Savage?
You waited to say goodbye to you, Mother. I do not like thee, Lilybell. The reason why I cannot tell, but this I know and know full well. I do not like thee, Lilybell. She's been chanting that over and over all the way down here.
Your children are leaving, Mrs. Savage. Wouldn't you like to say goodbye to them? They'd like to say goodbye to you, Mrs. Savage.
The fireflies are out. How lovely. What makes the fireflies light up, Doctor? Are they mated?
I really couldn't say.
I thought you know. Isn't this a bug house?
No, this is the cloisters, and this is to be your home. I'm Dr. Emmett.
Wouldn't it be fascinating if human beings glowed like fireflies while they were mating? Do you light up when you're mating, Lilybell? Lord knows you're flighty. You might as well go tight. It's going to be unpleasant again.
Now, surely, Mother, you're not going to let us leave with this air of bitterness, are you?
50 needles and 50 pins and 50 dirty Republicans.
Well, she's determined to take the wrong attitude.
It's futile.
Well, only time will take care of this. Now come, Samuel.
We'll send more of our clothes down later. We could only pack but one grip under the circumstances.
Well, Sunday's Visitor's Day, if you care to bring them down then.
Well, unfortunately, my sister's leaving for Paris soon, but we'll have something arranged. Good night, Mother.
If there's anything you need, Mrs. Savage, Miss Wilhelmina will take care of you.
If you love the garden out there, you'll be able to see it in the morning. You know, when I was a child, we used to say 30 needles and 30 pins, but I guess you got it 20 more dirty for a couple of pins.
It's a fault of mine exaggeration. Oh, it's so stupid of me to try and irritate them like this. I just irritate myself. Well, I suppose it has to be exasperating now to be funny later.
Oh, I noticed one of its eyes is missing. It must have dropped out in the office. I'll go get it as soon as they leave.
Don't bother. It fell out last fall at the opera. Oh, I'd have found it, but the usher was so nasty at my lighting matches during the magic fire music. You know what this is, don't you?
Suppose you tell me?
It's a teddy bear. Surely you've seen one before?
Oh, not that big.
Do you know what I do with it?
I couldn't possibly guess.
I sleep with it?
Oh, do you?
Yes, I do you. Are you going to talk to me as if I were an imbecile too?
Here, we mustn't be hostile.
Of course. You haven't harmed me. Would you care to know why I sleep with it?
If you'd care to tell me.
I don't care. And I'll tell you. I'm too old to have a lover, and too fastidious to sleep with a cat.
Then by all means, you must take it to bed with you here. Oh, would you like to take off your hat?
If I'm going to spend the rest of my life here, I might as well.
I might have soft hat.
a 10-cent piece of felt, and 3 chicken feathers. $85. Why the economy should be expensive, I don't know.
It takes imagination.
And the blood of pirates. Oh, but I wanted it. I wanted a hat like this since I was 16. For all the good it does me now. Well, I suppose I won't need a hat here, but maybe you could use it for something. I'm not at all sure what.
You must keep it. You might need it later.
Oh, dear, oh dear. Oh my god, my hair looks like the matted end of a coconut.
Oh, I don't think so. It's a heavenly color.
You should have seen it last year. Oh, it was bright red. Then, just to be different, I dyed it all black with a white streak in the middle. I look nothing so much as a skunk. Then, I just gave up and tinted it blue. Oh, it goes with everything.
It'll certainly go with your room. Would you like to go for that setup?
Is it time to lock me up now?
I wouldn't you? Did you bring a suitcase?
My daughter did. I wasn't consulted.
Then I'll go get it. There will be time to explore your surroundings in the morning. Oh, you can wait here.
Alone? No handcuffs?
We have the honor systems.
Honor system indeed.
Hello.
Miss Lily says the bars are only there to keep the world outside.
Corny, isn't it? Come on, let's sit. Oh! Ah!
Really, you shouldn't frighten yourself.
It's alive!
The poor thing's quite harmless.
It won't bite?
It won't shed, lay eggs, or bark. And, to the best of my knowledge, it's unvexed by sex. It couldn't be less trouble.
Well, in that case, a friend of yours is a friend of mine.
Perhaps we should introduce ourselves. You must be Mrs. Savage. I'm Florence Williams.
How do you do?
We've so looked forward to meeting you. We've been waiting for you all afternoon. May I introduce Mary May?
Oh, say you love me!
But we've just met.
You don't have to mean it. I just feel wonderful when people say they love me.
Well, I'm sure everyone loves you.
You see, I told you she wouldn't be spoiled. Welcome to the Cloisters. Climate's best by government test.
Thank you.
And this is Hannibal. And this is our Mrs.
Oh, how do you do, Mrs. Patty? I hate everything in the world, but most of all, I hate lightning, skunk cabbage, custard, mustards, bites, fuzz, fleas, bumblebees, prickly heat, rhubarb, barnacles, brats, broken glass, eels, and thunder. Why don't you like rhubarb?
Mrs. Patty won't answer you, Mrs. Savage. She'll only recite the things she hates.
Sweet.
But stubborn. Mrs. Patty stopped talking about 20 years ago.
Why?
She got mad.
Her husband told her to shut up.
And she did.
She gave up conversation for life.
But she's only giving up electricity for life.
You're a woman of wisdom, Mrs. Patty. There's only one thing wiser than saying very little, and that's saying nothing at all. Would you like to hold it?
She likes you.
I like her.
Oh, you haven't met Jeff. Come here, Jeff.
Please excuse my left hand.
Certainly. Is it a toothache?
Oh, Jeff's face is scarred and he likes to spare people.
Well, you don't need to spare me. I have to look at myself every morning.
Dr. Emmett refuses to let me wear a bandage.
Well, we have to humor our doctors once in a while.
And now you've met everyone. We're a small group in this wing, and we hope you find us comfortable to be with.
But Mrs. Savage hasn't met everyone. She hasn't met the Holy Terror.
Oh, of course. How stupid of me.
Where is he, Florence?
He was here just a moment ago. John Thomas!
He might have gone out into the hall.
I'll see.
John Thomas! You won't hurt her, will you?
Gracious, why should I?
You won't object, will you?
Well, what is John Thomas?
Her son. What did you think?
Here?
Of course. He was born here.
Oh,
I can't. Oh, look. Asleep on the floor. My husband warned me I'd be a bad mother. Mrs. Savage, this is my son.
You like children, don't you?
Everyone's but my own. How old is he?
5.
Wow, he's big for 5 months.
No, 5 years.
Oh, I meant years.
Will you excuse me? He has measles. I have to put him to bed. I do hope you won't catch them. Excuse me.
that was exceedingly kind of you, Mrs. Savage. Not to notice anything wrong?
There wasn't time to explain, but you were like lightning.
Poor Florence isn't well. We pretend for her sake, and we hope you will too.
Oh, I will.
I think you should understand right away, Mrs. Savage, that except for Florence, the rest of us are free to leave anytime we want to.
But we don't go, because there's no better place to go.
You're a very lucky woman to be accepted, Mrs. Savage, if I do say so myself. And I do.
Oh, do be quiet!
What is that?
That rude noise is a signal for us to go to our rooms.
It's the evil of the machine age. Perfect pistons and no manners.
Well, ours not the reason why. I wonder why no one occurs to the first line. It's someone blundered.
Oh, good night.
Oh, I didn't hear you. We don't say that around here. It means there's no more.
No more of what?
No more of so much.
Don't let Jeff Manning disturb you, Mrs. Savage. During the war, his plane was shot down in flames, and he hasn't quite recovered yet.
Oh, is his face badly burned?
Oh, not at all. Jeff bailed out, but he lost his crew, and he was the only one. His scar goes deeper than we can see.
Oh, Mrs. Savage, as you can see, Hannibal and I are the only ones here free to leave. We couldn't tell you them in front of the others. We pretend to save their pride. Oh, Miss Patty, I didn't know you were here! I didn't mean you! Oh, I can tear my tongue out! Oh, excuse me. If I don't apologize, she'll sulk! Mrs. Patty!
Fairy has the gift of good for saying the wrong thing.
Well, I should think it would take a bit of doing to apologize to someone who never talks and sulks anyhow.
You know, you'll get used to Mrs. Patty. Just treat her like a clock. Look at her to see how the day goes, but don't expect an answer. She's happy at her easel.
Ooh, is she an artist?
I don't know whether she's an artist or not, but she paints
Portraits?
seascapes, which is rather odd because she's never seen the ocean.
Oh, Mrs. Savage, I forgot to warn you. When you go to your room, don't sleep.
What did she mean about not sleeping?
Oh, none of us sleeps here.
Where do you sleep?
We don't. Oh, we go to our room. We've all agreed to that in principle, but we never close our eyes. Look at it this way. When today ends, tomorrow begins, and tomorrow may be filled with disaster. Could anything be simpler?
Not much.
Today's the only certainty.
Hannibal, you heard the buzzer. Why aren't you in your room?
I am in spirit, and everyone says it's the spirit that counts. Remember, fight the night!
Did they all come in to meet Mrs. Savage?
Well, there was a Mrs. Patty and 4 others who have no business being here at their age.
Oh, I quite agree.
Do you think I belong here?
Mrs. Savage, we're understaffed. I'm kept too busy to have any opinions.
I'd like to know what they told you about me.
Was there anything to tell?
Did they mention my memorial fund?
Well, not to me.
Then they probably told you that my husband's death affected my reason.
Well, that's understandable.
But untrue.
Why, didn't you love your husband?
I married Jonathan when I was 16. I loved him from the moment I met him until the moment he died. Do you know what that meant?
I think so.
Well, you don't, my dear. It meant that my only aim in life was to make him happy, to want what he wanted, to anticipate what would please him. And that meant that all the foolish things I ever wanted had to be forgotten.
But surely you had no regrets.
None, while he lived. But after he was gone, oh, I remembered all the foolish things I'd always wanted to do.
And what had you always wanted to do, Mrs. Savage?
Things that would have shocked poor Jonathan.
Such as dyeing your hair blue?
That, and studying French, and ballet dancing, and people. Oh, as a young girl, I could have sworn I would have been a great actress. So, with time running out and no responsibilities, I decided to be one.
But don't you think you waited a little too long, Mrs. Savage?
I certainly do. Had I been a fool in my youth, no one would have noticed the difference in my old age.
Oh, I never think of you as old.
Well, having kicked over the traces myself, and learned once again the importance of unimportant things, I decided I'd help others have the foolish things they'd always wanted.
And how would you do that?
by establishing the Jonathan Savage Memorial Fund, a foundation for giving money away in memory of my husband. And that insane idea has brought me here.
Well, you won't find it too unpleasant here. Would you like to go into your room and get settled?
You know, I did learn one thing from my French lessons.
What's that?
What I am. I'm a mort canard. That means dead duck, I think.
Oh, it's not that bad.
Yes, it is. Someday you'll realize that a great injustice was done to me. You'll always know that I was always quite sane. But here I am. And here they'll try to keep me with my few foolish years taken from me. If people would walk around the edge of a carpet once in a while, it would save wearing it out in the middle.
Encore, encore. Beautiful, beautiful. What would we do without you, Hannibal? You bring melody to the morning.
You could be in the concert field, Hannibal, if you worked at it.
Oh, you're so right, Jeff. Golden fingertips. I simply surrender to it. I'm a rag. Oh, do come in, Mrs. Savage.
Well, I trust you had a pleasant, sleepless night.
You just missed Hannibal's recital.
Well, I heard it. As a matter of fact, it's what brought me out of my room. Oh, is it something you composed yourself, Hannibal?
Oh no, Bob. With variations of my own.
Mathematics lost was certainly our gain.
Now, I don't quite follow that, Fairy.
Oh, Fairy knows that I used to be a statistician.
Oh, thank you. Now I'm straight.
Give him a fraction and multiply.
Well, I wouldn't know if he was right or not.
My last position was with the government, charting trends. I was supposed to keep my finger to the pulse of the public and my ear to the ground.
Ooh, a rather vulnerable position, was it not?
Oh, very. I was fired and replaced by a computer.
I should think you hate electricity too.
Oh, no, but I did want to make money with my brain. So I spent time trying to think of something that could be made for a dime, sold for $1, and was habit forming. I'm afraid my education was wasted.
I'm going to send John Thomas to Princeton. The boys aren't very bright, but they're such gentlemen. Oh, that reminds me, Mrs. Savage. May I ask a personal question?
They're the only ones worth asking, my dear.
A little bird told us that you used to be an actress. We're bursting with curiosity. Is it true?
Oh, that. Well, if being on the stage makes you an actress, then I guess it's true.
Miss Willie, she's the bird Florence was talking about. Said you performed on the New York stage.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if I've ever seen you.
Not unless you were quick. Actually, I was only in 2 plays. The first was Macbeth.
Macbeth? Oh, I adore Macbeth. All that blood. You know, I sent a pint of blood to the Red Cross once. They sent it back.
I should think you would have made a novel part of Lady Macbeth.
I can't tell you how much I agree with you, but they cast me as a witch.
But you're a perfect witch.
Thank you, dear.
Speak some witch talk, please.
Oh, I didn't have any lines. If I had, it probably would have cost me twice as much.
Why did it cost you anything?
Oh, I backed the show. If I hadn't, I couldn't have played even the mute witch. But we made history. It was the first play to close before the reviews were out.
Was it expensive?
Extremely, but worth it.
What a pity. Weren't you discouraged?
Oh, barely. But man is by nature optimistic. If he weren't, he'd eat his young. So, I decided I'd write a play and star myself.
You wrote a play?
I did indeed, with a courage born of ignorance and a plot out of wedlock.
What part did you play then?
Naturally, the lead, Not Guilty, starring Ethel P. Savage.
What does the P stand for?
I haven't the faintest idea. My numerologist said I needed it in my name for luck. He was right. We ran a year.
What was the play about?
A mother who murdered a man and was defended by a young woman lawyer who turns out to be her own daughter. Oh, I had red hair and died in my daughter's arms every night and 2 matinees a week, just as the curtain came down and the jury whispered, "Not guilty." Oh, I've never had a better time in my life.
I gather the notices were good that time?
Well, they were sincere, but it didn't make any difference.
What did they say?
The Times said, my play set the theater back 50 years. It couldn't possibly, because I stole the plot from Madam X, and that was only 40 years old.
But what did you think they know?
Well, the Wall Street Journal was wonderful. It said I brought something new to theater.
Money? Oh, really, Fairy? Money isn't new.
What did Wall Street say?
It said I had a tenacious mediocrity unhampered by taste.
But that isn't good.
Well, it was perfect. In our ads, we simply said tenacious and unhampered.
You ran a year?
We'd have been running it if my daughter hadn't come home and stopped me. Oh, I know I was bad, and audiences only came to laugh at me. But we both had a good time. What more can you ask? I do miss it. Ah, well, my turn is coming.
I don't think that was very nice of your daughter. Don't! Please don't!
Fairy, what is wrong?
Mrs. Savage is going to read the newspaper!
Oh.
What's the matter?
I wouldn't do that if I were you, Mrs. Savage.
Please give it to me. Please, Mrs. Savage.
You mustn't read it.
It'll only make you unhappy.
Now wait just a moment. I know what the paper is going to say, so there's nothing you could hide from me. I've just been waiting for it to happen.
Waiting for what to happen, Mrs. Savage?
Why what it says in the paper?
But we don't know what it says in the paper.
Then why were you trying to keep me from seeing it?
We have an agreement.
We don't read the newspapers until they're at least a month old.
We find we're much happier when we wait. Yes.
What are you waiting for?
Why? Naturally, we're waiting for... Hannibal, what are we waiting for?
Perspective.
Peace of mind.
Security.
My dear people, there's something important in the papers I want to know about. And I want to know now, not next month.
We're only trying to help you. Yes.
Disaster's easier to digest when it's aged a little.
You're very kind, but I've made my bed and I want to know who's in it.
We can't prevent Mrs. Savage from reading the paper if she insists, and we don't want to go enough to be rude.
Florence is right.
Well, if you read anything unpleasant, don't tell us.
Okay.
No!
If there's trouble in the world, it will help us to know about it.
This is yesterday's paper. I want today's paper.
Oh, it isn't here yet.
When does it come?
I don't know.
Oh, is there a radio here?
Yes, right over there.
Maybe I could catch the news. Why didn't someone mention there was a radio here?
You didn't ask us.
This doesn't light up. Is there anything wrong with the set?
I don't think so. Oh, of course. It hasn't any tubes.
It hasn't any what?
Tubes.
Mrs. Patty steals them. She hates electricity, you know.
No one knows when she hides them.
Why didn't someone mention there was no tubes?
You didn't ask us.
Oh, dear. How high is that wall?
Oh, much too high.
It's easily 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tiers high.
And I suppose no one ever leaves that great gate open?
Don't look beyond the garden, Mrs. Savage. There may be a better place somewhere. But if you give this up to search for it, you may not find it. And lose what you have.
You'll like it here after a while.
Except in January. It gets a little cold.
Like you already.
It isn't that I don't find you enchanting. It's just, but
But we what? Please don't say anything mean. Julie, still!
We have to go, Mrs. Savage.
but where?
It's garden hour.
We each have a little plot, and we plant things. Plant anything you wish. Vegetables or flowers.
Last year I planted bird seeds to see what would come up.
What did come up, Barry?
Nothing. But it was a great horticultural experience.
Ooh, at Christmas, there's a beautiful evergreen in the center with lights that say, Merry Christmas. Keep out!
Come with us, Mrs. Savage. I'll show you my delphiniums.
No, please go without me. I have some serious thinking to do. I'll just wait here.
But the buzzer buzz? One has to obey orders.
May I ask why you're doing that, Mrs. Savage?
Oh, I believe in wearing a carpet out evenly.
Oh, how prudent. I'm going to help you.
But don't you have to garden?
This is more constructive.
I'll help too. We must all do our share.
But I didn't mean to start a procession.
No. Oh. Go ahead, Mrs. Savage. Right behind you. Come on, boys. Many feet make light work.
Why not? It's a refreshing change. Hey, most women usually lead us in circles.
Go ahead.
But I feel like the Pied Pipers.
Wait! Oh, I got an idea. Jeff, you can take the leaves. Hannibal can take the buds. Mrs. Savage can have roses, and the rest of us can walk on thorns. Do you know what we're doing, Miss Willie?
Wearing out the carpet evenly?
Oh, someone told you.
Didn't I hear the buzzer ring garden hour?
I didn't hear it. I think it's broken.
Barry, aren't you ashamed?
I wish I were dead.
No, I'm afraid this is my fault, Miss Willie.
I didn't feel like gardening anyhow. Of course, you worked so hard on your flowers. You don't want them to die, do you? I don't want anything to die.
Oh, that's true. Florence couldn't even hurt a fly. She catches them and puts them out the window. Flies adore her.
Well, I think we all better go out and work in the garden. Barry, why don't you share your seeds with Mrs. Savage? Okay. Run along now. Mrs. Savage, aren't you going with them?
I want to speak to you. Alone.
All right, what can I do for you?
A great deal. And it might be that I could do a great deal for you.
Are you about to offer me a bribe, Mrs. Savage?
How did you guess?
Well, everyone does, at first.
No, still, my offer is a little different. I'll give you $20,000 to leave that open tonight. No, $30,000.
Don't you like us, Mrs. Savage?
That's the most irritating answer to a sound business offer, my dear. $50,000. No, $40,000. You could be free of this place too.
But I don't want to be free of it.
But $50,000. You could see Cairo, Mandalay, the South Pacific.
But I've seen Cairo, and I've been to Mandalay in the South Pacific.
You have?
Yes, I had 4 years as an army nurse.
Still, you should be able to use $50,000.
And where would you get that money, Mrs. Savage?
Never mind, I can get it. And in the current idiom, 50,000 is peanuts.
Well, I believe you, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to refuse.
Then you leave me no choice but to burn the place down.
Oh, you wouldn't do that.
Oh, yes, I would.
Too many people here wouldn't know how to save themselves. You think of them first.
If you believe I belong here, then why are you appealing to my reason?
I wasn't. I was appealing to your emotions.
Well, I'm gonna get out quickly enough. It's just that bribing you would have been cheaper. Now it cost me a couple million at least.
Oh, good morning, Doctor.
Good morning. Is Mrs. Savage downstairs?
Oh, she just this minute went out to the garden.
What's your state of mind this morning?
The usual. She's already offered me a bribe.
What'd she offer you?
The highest yet, $50,000. Poor dear.
Did she sound confident?
Definitely manic. She talked as if she still controlled her own affairs.
Apparently, she does. Read this. I've just been talking to her children. They're practically out of their minds themselves. The senator's leaving Washington at once to pick up his sister in New York and judge in Boston and be here by tonight.
This is the most amazing story I've ever read. When did you discover this?
I gathered this morning. They asked me to confine her in her room.
I don't understand it. How could she get away with so much money?
Apparently, her husband left the estate to her. She's been secretly selling out of control ever since.
$10 million. That's a typographical error, isn't it?
No, they had it all right. I doubt it. Will you call her, please? I better tell her what to expect.
Oh, Mrs. Savage, Dr. Everett would like to speak with you. Are you going to place her in seclusion?
Of course not. But sometimes there is a way of placing relations in seclusion. They're always so much more trouble than patients.
I think she knows what happened to them.
If she does, she's the only one.
Well, there's a method in her mouth.
Did you want me, doctor?
Yes, just a moment. Will you have a seat? Miss Willie, Merriman has been deluged with calls from the newspaper. Can you get help out on the switchboard, please?
Yes, Doctor.
I think I know what you're going to tell me.
Do you?
I see you have the morning papers. I wonder how long it would take them to find out.
So then you're aware of what you've done. The consequences?
Oh, it's too early for consequences. May I see it?
Senator phoned from Washington. He'll be here by tonight.
Huh. Indeed he can. Well, I'm not going anyplace.
How could you possibly have spent $10 million without anybody knowing about it?
Who said I spent it?
The paper says you did.
Oh, what do they know? I didn't spend it. I couldn't. I hid it.
You hid it?
A nice $500,000 negotiable bonds that can't be traced.
I'm sorry this has happened to you, Mrs. Savage, but your hidden treasure is going to prove a great disadvantage to you.
That's because you're a doctor. And doctors never know the value of money.
Mrs. Savage, would you like to know how long it would take me to earn $10 million?
Oh, excuse me. I came back to get my violin. Fairy May wants music while she plants her seeds.
General, just a moment. You're a statistician. How long would it take an average doctor to earn $10 million?
Oh, well, we'd have to start before Christ was born. And we're right to the burning of Rome, up to the burning of St. John and Savonarola. But that's a time out, of course, for the Norman Conquest, the 100 Years' War, the 30 Years' War, and the 7 Years' War. So we'd have to work double time during the discovery of America up to penicillin and bubblegum. But that's without deducting federal tax, state tax, city tax, luxury tax, and amusement tax. You'd had 100 years for that.
Thank you, Hannibal. It's a great deal to be responsible for, Mrs. Savage.
What was the doctor up to?
A bit of emotional blackmail, I suspect. Hannibal, would you guess to look at me that I'm worth $10 million on the hoop?
No. The human body has only 20 cents worth of phosphorus, 20 cents worth of iodine, 5 cents worth of calcium, and even at present high prices, no one is worth over $1.50.
So, you only value me at $1.50?
Never. You said worth. Your value is inestimable.
Hannibal, I like you. I like you very much. You make me feel important. You make me feel like dancing.
Ooh, splendid! What shall I play?
Anything.
Oh, I'm very good on Flight of the Bumblebees.
Could anything be more appropriate? The bees come home and find their honey gone. Someone is gonna be stung. Play, Hannibal.
Are you reading?
Yes, dear.
Is it interesting?
Oh, very.
I'm not disturbing you, am I?
Now whatever makes you think that? What's the matter, Fairy May?
Nothing. It's just that no one has said they love me this livelong day.
Why, yes they have, Fairy.
No, they haven't. I've been waiting.
I heard Florence say it at the dinner table.
Did she? Dinner?
She said, "Don't eat too fast, Fairy."
Was that saying she loved me?
Of course. People say it when they say, "Take an umbrella, it's raining," or "Hurry back," or even, "Watch out, you'll break your neck." There are hundreds of ways of wording it, my dear. You just have to listen for them.
Oh. Well, my doctor said I had perfect occlusion. Do you think he was saying he loved me?
What else? Why, the first time I met my husband, I was riding horseback, and he said I had a good seat. I knew immediately he loved me.
Oh. Well, thank you. I've been missing out so much. My dentist loves me.
Now, what else would you like to have me clear up for you?
Oh, nothing. I'm sorry I disturbed you. Thank you. And forgive me. Mrs. Savage?
Yes?
I'm keeping score, and the boys won't help me. What's 7 and 5 and 4?
49.
But Mrs. Savage.
It's my own system, Hannibal. I refuse to submit to the tyranny of mathematics.
Then I win.
Mrs. Savage,
Yes, Fairy?
may I interrupt you again?
Of course.
Why is it suddenly Sunday again when it was just Sunday yesterday?
Why do you think it's Sunday?
Because your kids are coming. And that's Visitor's Day.
Fairy, it isn't Sunday. My brood are coming back because they couldn't wait a week.
Oh, that should make you happy.
It should, but it doesn't.
Excuse me? Don't you like them?
Not at all.
Oh, I think that's a wicked thing to say.
Well, we have to be wicked once in a while to get God's attention. But if it consoles you, Florence, they were not mine. My husband was left with 3 small children.
But you must have liked them when they were little.
Oh, I wanted to make them my own desperately, but they always resented me. Why, the first time I put my arms around Lily Bell, she bit me. And she bit me every day until the age of 10.
Wow, that must have made you very high-strung.
What stopped her at the exact age of 10?
I suppose at 10, a girl begins to consider her teeth.
But the boys are always so much better.
Not always. They've been spoiled by money. And whenever I tried to correct them, they'd break something I treasured to get even with me. It was a happy day when they went away to school.
School must have taught them something.
Yes, French. After that, whenever they came home, they spoke nothing but French, so I couldn't understand them. And I haven't understood them since.
But you must be proud of them now. The senator's quite famous, isn't he?
That he is, make no mistake. I heard he gets more threatening telegrams than any other man in Congress. I think Western Union lists him as a tangible asset.
Which one's a judge, isn't he?
That's a distinction.
He's made it one. He has the distinction of having had more of his decisions reversed than any man in jurisprudence.
Mrs. Savage, is the daughter pretty?
Oh, well, there's a picture of her in the paper. I'll show you and you can judge for yourself.
Oh, please don't show us anything from the paper.
I'm not. I'm just going to show you her picture.
We don't look at pictures either.
People are always pinned under trucks.
Well, I'll take a look to make sure it isn't horrible.
Well, even I would say it's horrible.
Oh! She's a queen! She's wearing a crown! A queen?
That's a tiara, Fairy. It's an old picture taken when she was married to her Slavic prince.
Oh, then
Let's take a look at him. Just to be polite.
she's a princess.
No, she discarded her prince a good 6 husbands ago.
But why?
Hell hath no music like a woman playing second fiddle.
But she kept the tiara.
Indeed she did. I suspect she sleeps in it.
I don't know when I've seen a prettier tiara.
That dress is rather low cut, isn't it?
I don't like her. Let's do something mean to her.
Oh, Fairy.
I don't mean like really mean. I just mean like girl putting her picture up on the dirt board and throwing dirt at it.
Fairy!
My dear, you're a sweet child. That's exactly what we'll do.
Oh, you wouldn't.
I need exercise, my dear.
Fairy, you're an evil girl to think up such a thing.
Don't talk to me like that. I'm sensitive.
Oh, leave her alone, Florence. I'm the culprit. Now, what can I pin this up with?
I think Mrs. Patty has some thumbtacks.
Ooh.
Oh, Fairy, I'm so disappointed in you.
Oh, I wish I'd died in my cradle.
Mrs. Patty. That's the loveliest seascape I have ever seen. know, I can actually smell the ocean. Oh, I think your genius lies in your simplicity. You challenge the imagination. Can I borrow 4 thumbtacks? Thank you.
It's setting a very bad example for motherhood.
Oh my God, do stop worrying, Florence. But don't you like surprises?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to surprise Lily Bell. I'll tee off. Now, target for tonight. Oh, dreadful. I will try again. Well, it's close enough.
Oh, something dreadful is going to happen, I know.
Everybody to the upstairs study. Savage, the visitors are here.
May I stay, Mrs. Lily?
Oh, I'm sorry, Harry, but the senator insisted on private school.
Oh, next time I'm ordered out, I'm just going to go without saying a word. I'm as much pride as anyone. Come on, Mrs. Patty.
All the way up now. Hurry on.
How's the weather out there?
Stormy.
You wait outside, that will be all.
I don't know what to say to you, Mother. For the life of me, I don't know what to say.
Polite people say good evening. Deception is so unlike you.
I'm not angry. I'm just hurt. Do you understand the enormity of what you've done? You sold control of 15 Savage Industries.
We'll have to sell our stock in Savage Grass to buy it back. Oh, didn't you find out? I sold that one first.
I wasn't excited. I get lines.
What else? What else have you disposed of?
Everything in my name.
Oh, we're ruined.
Now, what did you do with the money, Mother?
Tell us what you did with it, dear.
I converted it into a neat little bundle of negotiable bonds and buried them.
What area you mean hidden?
Oh, I mean buried. As in, you know.
In the ground?
I feel physically ill.
Where are they buried?
I forget.
Lord, grant my mother one more moment of clarity.
Where did you bury it? Concentrate.
Best thanks for taking lines out of that face, Lily Bell. Oh, I have to do something about getting you a new eye. Oh, do you know a place that sells bear's eyes, Lily Bell?
Give me that stupid thing and answer us!
Miss Willie, help!
Lily Bell, wait! You're just antagonizing her.
I'm sorry, Mother. Hold your bear. You forget that you're sick.
What we must make you understand, Mother, is that it's not the money involved. What concerns us so much is the disgrace of all this public. What happened?
She bit me!
Oh, nonsense. Whatever Mother might do, she wouldn't descend to fighting.
It was a wasp.
If ever there was a wasp, it's the woman we call Mother. I know when I'm bitten. Teeth marks!
Lily Bell, there's no need to raise your voice.
Does it hurt?
Of course it hurts!
Lily Bell! We have no more fighting amongst ourselves. We can't afford it.
You can't afford anything.
No, we simply refuse to be angry with you, Mother. And I want you to listen to what I have to say. We've never considered ourselves the great possessors of fortune, rather than a custodian of the great. Don't do that!
Look, I just asked you to look. She's been throwing dirt in the picture!
And what of it can't possibly hurt you?
It's a vicarious form of murdering someone. It's just saying vicious sort of voodoo magic known to science.
We're losing ground.
We were fostered by a werewolf, every savage son of us.
My patience has been exhausted. What did you do with the money?
I told you I buried it!
Where? If you do not tell us at once, we will have you sent to a public institution. We will not tolerate any of this criminal waste.
Oh, you've given me a headache. Oh, I can't remember a thing. I haven't a brain in my head anyhow. You told me time and again.
What do you mean you can't remember a thing? Of course you can.
I can't. My head is pounding. Oh.
You better be careful, Cass.
we get something for you?
Oh, yes. Those powders I used to take.
Very well, then where are they?
Oh, I'm out of them.
We'll get more.
Will you?
Of course.
Here's a prescription number. It's from my druggist in Boston.
We head all the way back to Boston.
Oh, this is dangerous. We better get those powders and come back in the morning. We won't accomplish anything tonight.
Yes, I agree with you. You'll get your fill.
Get the pills, Daniel. When we get home, I'm going right to bed.
Be prepared to tell us what you did with the bonds in the morning.
Oh, pound. Oh,
I'll tell the chauffeur already.
And God's name got into him. Doesn't matter, Mother, we will be back first thing in the morning.
pound. Isabel. Psst.
What do you mean? Psst.
I have something important to tell you about the bonds. Come here.
Well,
I want to tell you, and you alone, where I hid them.
why me?
Titus and Samuel are fools, and if anything happened to me overnight, the bonds would be lost.
It was Titus who wanted you here, not I. So what did you do with them?
Where would you hide $10 million if you didn't trust banks?
I don't know.
Under a rock?
Of course not.
Or would you hide them in your mattress? Of course, you're never far from your mattress. But what if you were, and the house burned down?
Are you going to tell me or not?
Have you ever been to the Museum of Natural History?
No.
Very educational and fire. Mother, please! Do you know what's on the 3rd floor of the museum?
How could I?
The Department of Ichthyology.
What are you talking about?
Fish! In the last room on the 3rd floor, hanging from 2 wires, is a big, dusty porpoise. I stuffed my bonds in that stuffed porpoise when no one was looking.
I do not believe you.
Name me a safer place.
Only a fool would do such a thing.
That's me.
How could you get a package of bonds inside a stuffed fish?
Easy. Razor blade and scotch tape.
You must think I'm very gullible. I have no intentions of hunting inside a stuffed fish.
You thought I'm going to hold a car for you all night. Samuel is honking.
Let him honk.
Titus,
Yes,
kiss me goodbye.
you bit Lily Bell. I don't trust you.
Well, that's ironical, because I trust you. I was just about to tell you where the bonds were hidden. Oh, well.
Now surely you know I never wanted you here, Mother. I was just following Lily Bell's orders.
Will you get me out of here and let me alone?
Oh, you know I will.
Then I'll tell you where they are. The bonds are in a tin box.
Where?
Do you remember when I went with a group from Actors Equity to Washington?
No.
Well, I do. Oh, it was National Ethel Week. We all had lunch with the First Lady. There was Ethel Barrymore, Ethel Merman, Ethel Waters, Ethel
What are you
Rose.
talking about, Mother?
The bonds are hidden in the president's hothouse.
Why would you pick a place like that with all those people going in and out?
Well, I'm not very bright.
I am the only man who can get into the White House.
Oh, you should agree with him oftener.
How do I know that you're not just imagining this all?
Well, there's one sure way to find out. Dig.
No, I'm not falling for that trap. I know you didn't hide the bonds in there.
In the corner, under the petunia bed.
Titus, unless you hurry, Samuel's going off without us.
I refuse to believe you.
Listen, we're horrible. We're terribly sorry.
We wanted to sneak away, but it would have made too much noise.
We all wish we were dead.
It's no secret. If you read the papers, you know.
But did you really hide all that money?
I did indeed, for my memorial fund.
And now you're giving it back. You're very generous for your size and weight.
But you didn't tell the judge where his share was.
That prescription was really a note saying to dig under the chimney.
But why did you hide all my money if you were just going to tell them where it was?
Who said I did?
We heard you.
Foolish I am, but not that foolish. Whatever is in the president's President Petunias, or under that chimney, or stuck in that porpoise, I can assure you, it is not my little bundle of bonds.
Then why did you say they were?
I wanted to see to what extent they make fools of themselves.
But they might consider it degrading to go out digging.
But they will.
Oh, well, nothing makes the truth seem so shabby as a magnificent lie.
There are a million things a man will do for $5, but there are 5 things a man won't do for $1 million. They'll dig.
We will now be having a 10-minute intermission. We have fun cakes for sale.
Jeffrey here.
Why, it says you were brilliant, Jeffrey. Oh, please forgive me. I should have known.
I was going to appear at the Philharmonic. I didn't, but I have the contract to prove I might have.
Oh, please go on, Jeffrey. I want to hear you.
No, I don't like to be stared at.
I'll look the other way and listen, Jeff.
I'd rather not. I'm not ready to face people yet.
I wouldn't dream of insisting.
Can you keep a secret?
About 10 minutes.
Dr. Emmett isn't a doctor at all.
Oh, what is he?
A patient. Just like Mrs. Patty.
Do you think so?
For 5 years now, she's promised to give me a new face.
No, she's a doctor, Jeff. It says so on her office door. She wouldn't lie.
Do you believe a woman is what she claims to be?
I'm a trusting soul. I try to believe the best in people.
Well, it's best to believe the worst. If you believe the worst is no worse than expected. And the best is only half bad. So it's best to believe the worst.
You know, Jeffrey, that's almost obscure enough to be profound. What does it mean?
Simple. If a man claims to be wise, you say he's a fool. If he claims to be a fool, you believe him.
Well, only a fool claims to be wise.
Exactly, which proves I'm right. Dr. Emmett is a fool. She claims to be a doctor. For 5 years now, she's promised to give me a new face. Where's her miracle?
Some things take a long time to heal, Jeffrey.
Well, I can't wait much longer. I'll be 26 soon.
And that's ancient. But why don't you go and play anyhow? Don't condemn your audience before you give them a chance to be kind.
Look at me and tell me an audience won't shudder at the sight of me. Look. Do you see?
I see nothing. To hide, Jeffrey.
Dr. Emmett told you what to say.
No, she didn't, I promise. But I'd believe her if I were you. Give her a little more time.
All right. I'll give her 5 years more.
Fair enough.
Do you know something?
Not a thing. I'm only awed by the magnitude of what I don't know.
Hannibal can't really play the violin.
No.
Yes.
Well, of course, I'm tone deaf.
I'll tell you something else. I sometimes wish I were.
Well, you're a sweet boy to pretend.
Poor Hannibal. Can't play the violin. But he does. I can play, but I won't. Isn't that funny?
Not very.
Oh my. There's a rat in the hole! A rat as big as a mouse! Quick, climb on the chair, Mrs. Savage!
Mary, what am I going to do with you?
Please get off my top. But there's a rat! Mrs. Savage is bored here, and I intend to make her life exciting.
Thank you, Fairy. I'll have you know, I just aged 50 years. That puts me well over the 100 mark.
Oh, then we must have a birthday party. I'll make candles.
Oh, no, you don't. You'll sit down quietly and drink your coffee.
Oh dear. I ate too much again.
You shouldn't exercise right after a meal, Hannibal.
I know, but if I wait till I'm hungry, my conscience won't leave me.
Are you sure there have been no calls or messages for me today?
Positive.
Well, can you send to the village and get tonight's newspaper?
Well, if you'll serve the coffee, then I'll ask Dr. Emmett.
Gladly.
Here, our bingo.
Florence has been served.
Oh, don't stand on manners, Jack. Miss Willie knows just how you like your coffee. I'll get my own.
Very well. Thank you.
You're annoyed.
You single me out for attention. It's unfair and it makes me uncomfortable.
Jeff, you'll have to be happy. I didn't.
I forget to.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the best dressed of them all? Fairy, who?
Cream in your coffee, Fairy?
Please. Oh, do you think this dress is anything for me? I made it myself.
It's sheer delight. Sugar?
Oh, 5. You know, I couldn't finish it, so I had to put pins all over it.
Hannibal?
No, thank you, Mrs. Savage.
Hannibal, do you know of an enjoyable way to make that exercise an improvement?
You can't improve this exercise. There's no enjoyable way to do that.
Well, I have an improvement. All you need is a deck of cards.
Oh, I went to a fortune teller when I was 14, but everything he said was wrong. I never believed in cards after that. Very, very, very.
Throw them up in the air.
Why?
To lose weight. Now, all you have to do is lean over and pick it up, one by one.
Oh, that's tidy.
I learned it in a beauty course.
Oh, Hannibal, wouldn't it be easy to pick them up sideways?
Much. You know, man was made all wrong. His stomach should be in back. It only gets in the way when he bends down. And why does he have knees? They only buckle in front when he bends. And his nose, why is it in front? It only gets in the way when he tries to kiss.
Oh, you're so right.
I guess God was in a hurry.
Hannibal, what are we doing now?
We're losing weight.
Well, will you postpone it for a little while? Would you all go upstairs to the study for a few moments? I'd like to talk to the Savage. Florence, will you take a coffee up with me?
Oh, I do hate having coffee upstairs. So middle class. Where's John Thomas?
I think you left him on the phonograph, Florence.
Of course. He adores the classics. Oh, upstairs, downstairs. I think I can scream. Can I say Dr. Emmett? No, you may not. Oh, Mrs. Patty?
Miss Willie tells me you seem anxious to see tonight's papers. Why?
Have it.
Here they are. It will undoubtedly please you to know you caused considerable trouble again.
Oh dear. Titus on the front page. Senator trapped in White House hothouse.
I've just been talking to him. He's exceedingly angry.
Imagine pulling up all those petunias. Oh, what will everyone think?
As a result of this, your position has deteriorated considerably.
And my disposition has blossomed enormously. Anything about Samuel?
Here's the Boston Post.
Dear, oh dear. All those bricks right on top of him. Chimney collapses on Boston jurist. Well, for some people, it takes a ton of bricks, you know?
How could they possibly have believed you?
They should be committed, shouldn't they? Nothing from Lily Bell?
Your batting average for mischief is 100%, Mrs. Savage.
Oh, this is a horrible picture of Lily Bell. This would frighten even Fairy.
According to that, she resisted arrest.
So I see. Berserk heiress bites police. They really are fools, aren't they, Doctor?
What do you hope to gain, Mrs. Savage?
Better terms.
For your freedom?
For my memorial fund.
Your children believe that money can be put to better use.
Of course, their own. Lily Bell has spent over $1 million on her 6 husbands, and Titus and Samuel, just as much to secure jobs to which they had no right. Is that better use?
They believe your memorial fund is most unorthodox, Mrs. Savage.
That's absurd. There are plenty of charities for foolish people in desperate need, but none for people with a desperate need to be foolish.
What brought you to that conclusion?
My own life. No matter what we have, we never forget the foolish things we never got. I'm sure that if Hannibal had been given a violin when he wanted one, he wouldn't need one now.
It's quite possible.
I want my husband to be remembered with warmth and gratitude for a few foolish dreams that came true. I will not give up my memorial to him.
I'd like to discuss this with you further, Mrs. Savage, but at the moment you have visitors waiting. You may come in now, Senator. I'll be just outside if you need me.
My headache's gone.
How dare you make a fool of me? How dare you?
You knew that chimney would follow me if I started pulling bricks out. You tried to kill me, didn't you?
We're really not a very bright family, are we?
You must be proud indeed, mother, to see the Savage name held up to such ridicule again.
Did you dig, Titus?
8 FBI men jumped me. They pushed my face into the dirt. They thought I was planning a bomb.
Why didn't you tell the papers the truth? I did. Sleepwalking. Really?
You try to think of something with 8 FBI agents on top of your chest.
She loved the chance.
It was learned today that the senator's mother, Miss Ethel P. Savage, was recently committed for irresponsible actions. Democratic leaders were quick to point out that this might explain the career of strange behavior in Congress by the senator. Do you know what this does to me politically?
Makes you a Mort Canard. Dead duck. French, remember?
I will never survive this. Never!
They treated me like a common criminal. I was fingerprinted.
Oh, I forgot to ask you, Lily Bell. What is in a stuffed porpoise?
Do you know what they call us in the papers now?
The Mad Savages!
How do you like it?
What happened to those bonds,
What
Mother?
happened to your dignity?
Where is my money?
Where is your self-respect?
Mother, you're going to tell us what you did with those bonds.
Are you prepared to listen to my terms? Or would you care to dig in Grant's tomb?
You will be prepared to compromise.
If that means seeing things my way, then compromise is the right word.
I will consider effecting your release into the custody of somebody for a period of time.
And I'd be willing to give you complete freedom if you give up acting and lead a dignified life.
Freedom, as Titus can tell you, is the right to make the wrong choice.
You might have the commitment revoked only to have you play another trick on us. Now where would we be then?
Where are you now?
Get it over with.
Very well, Samuel, write a retraction.
I'm tired of having my decisions reversed.
I'll keep my promise, but I warn you, don't have me follow.
Samuel, wait a minute.
What is it?
I found the answer on the cover of this medical journal.
And what exactly is that?
A way to avoid your compromise. But I have to see Dr. Emmett first.
Aren't you going to sign the petition, Lily Bell?
Titus told you sign anything until I come back.
Lily Bell! What could she have read?
God knows.
Something to trick you. If you listen to her now, you'll end up without a cent.
Titus, what'll I do?
Write it. Lily Bell has gotten us into enough trouble.
Your and Samuel's signature will be enough.
How many T's in commitment?
3.
2.
Doesn't look right.
Doesn't matter, give it here.
Give it back.
All it needs to say is that the commitment was ill-advised, and that we request release. Will this satisfy you?
It will, when you sign it.
Sign it, Samuel.
What are you doing?
We're signing the letter, Lily Bell. Now sign it.
It isn't necessary.
Oh, you'll regret this.
Bell, you have no right to act without consulting us.
You be quiet. Read this.
Read what?
An article on sodium pentothal. It's... Perhaps I'd better let Dr. Emmett explain. Will you tell them what sodium pentothal does, Doctor?
It's typically used in cases of shock. It releases tension, removes the patient's inhibitions, and makes them receptive to suggestion.
It's called the truth drug.
It's not quite accurate, however,
But under its influence, the patient answers truthfully, isn't that so?
if they answer at all.
Now, do you understand? You want me, Doctor?
Yes, just a moment.
Dr. Emmett, I want you to get some of this truth drug and administer it to my mother.
Haven't I any rights at all, Doctor?
Pardon me, doctor, but surely you're not going to listen to these people. It's a flagrant misuse of science.
Dr. Emmett, I order you to give some of this drug to my mother.
Mrs. Savage, if I were to refuse, your guardians are quite within their legal rights to remove you from my authority. I'm confident they'll find means of subjecting you to the influence of sodium pentothal elsewhere.
And let someone else be responsible.
$10 million, hidden from use, does no one any good. Least of all you. It remains an ever-present symptom of psychotic thinking. This is your opportunity to prove that you're capable of making a rational decision. An intelligent mind recognizes defeat.
Well, Let it be known that I was not brought to my knees by science. I will tell you where the bonds are. They are...
Wait! We've come to the rescue! It's not too late.
We'll stand by you, Mrs. Savage.
We were listening, and I must say, shame on you, and you, and
Dr.
you!
Emmett, who are these people?
These are my friends!
Hannibal, weren't you meant to stay upstairs?
I must protect Doctor.
What gives you the right to protest her? This is none of your concern.
I love you all for wanting to help me. But, as you must have heard, Dr. Emmett, there isn't much choice.
What will you do, Mrs. Savage?
Give them the bond.
I think you made the right decision, Mrs. Savage.
Are you going to tell us where the bonds are?
I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to show you. We are going to show you.
Oh, you heard it!
Here is your buried treasure.
My gosh, you had them with her all the time!
Who turned off the lights? Where is that light switch?
For God's sake, Dad, don't come!
Science! Strike a match!
We'll sleep out another one of your more
Who turned off those lights?
One of our patients. Oh, Mrs. Patty?
Where's Lily Bell? She's disappeared.
Oh, my gracious! What are you doing down there?
Somebody pushed me.
It wasn't me. I wasn't near enough.
It's the bonds. The bonds? The bonds are gone! What did you do with them?
I put them on the table. You saw me do it yourself.
And where are they?
Excuse me, Senator. I'd say that Mrs. Patty took them. I think she turned off the lights, took the bonds, and ran.
Miss Lily, here, Mrs. Patty. Alert all the staff and find her before she gets destroys those bonds. I can't bear it. I'm simply going to pieces.
Try this. It'll calm you.
Darling Mrs. Patty. Come on, girls. Let's go for a walk.
This place is simply a madhouse!
Yes, Miss Wilhelmina? Good. Good. Good.
Well,
The staff has been alerted. Miss Willie is searching the basement now.
yes, but did they find that woman?
Not yet.
And what in heaven's name is all this good about?
We're taking every possible precaution, Senator.
That maniac made away with $10 million worth of negotiable bonds. They're lost. They cannot be replaced.
What will she do with them, Doctor?
She'll probably eat them.
I don't know. We're sure to recover them. It may just take a little time.
Years, probably.
They're right in front of us, right within our grasp. Why didn't you stop her?
How did I know that the lights were going to go out?
You know, Mrs. Patty couldn't have taken them at all.
Of course she could. No one else could have.
You could have,
Nonsense. Lily Bell was 10 feet away from the table.
but she's mighty quick when it comes to money. Personally, I think she took them and stuck them down her front. Heaven knows there's room. Why don't you search her?
Lily Bell, you didn't take the bonds, did you?
Can't you see she's trying to make us suspect each other?
Someone else could have taken them. That man. He was the one nearest to the table when the lights went out.
He was right beside it.
Well, young man, what have you got to say for yourself?
I didn't take them. I don't even like bonds.
No! Ah! Kratos, please! Someone's gonna die!
Dr. Emmett, must we have these people here?
Dr. Emmett, I want you to remove all these people from the room. No! No one leaves this room until that man is searched.
Everybody off with his clothes!
My glasses too?
Barry, just a moment. Mrs. Savage, please don't make this any harder than you already have. And can we do something about this man tossing cards around? My nerves are on edge! Hannibal, don't!
Don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. Oh, I see you have a lovely tiara. Do you sleep in it?
Sit down, you unattractive creature! I've had quite enough!
I don't like you.
Barry, will you have a seat while we wait?
I can't. I'm full of pins.
Hey, we're looking everywhere for you.
Don't let her get away!
Patty, I think you better join us. We'd like to talk to you.
Now we will to where those bonds are. Well, madam, what have you got to say for yourself?
I hate everything in this world, but most of all, I hate revolving doors, cuspidors, fights, fuzz, fleas, bumblebees, prickly heat, pills, pots, pans, butts, bladders, worms, germs, pachyderms, politicians.
What does she mean?
Weren't you listening?
Madam, I swear, if you don't tell me where those bonds are,
There's no need to shout at her, Senator. She hears you well enough, but she is not going to answer you. She hasn't answered a question in 20 years.
I will make her talk to me.
Senator, will you please be kind enough to yield the floor to me?
Very well. I want to hear her talk.
So do we all. Miss Patty, it's very important. Now, I want you to nod yes or no to the following questions I ask. Now, did you take a little bundle of bonds from the table a few moments ago?
She did and she didn't.
Excuse me, please. Harry.
Miss Patty, this is very important. Now, do you remember turning the lights out? Yes, you do. Now, do you remember a little bundle of papers on the table? Try to remember. Think.
Dr. Emmett, I found them.
No, you don't hand those over to me. I'll take charge of these.
Look!
You said you found the bonds.
I said nothing of the sort.
Mrs. Patty, would you like to save us a lot of trouble? Do you have some sort of threat you resort to here? Don't threaten my patients! Mrs. Patty, look at me. The truth drug! I'm afraid it is out of the question. I have to have a guardian's consent.
We'll use the truth drug on her. We'll get the guardian's consent. Who is it?
Her husband.
Well, then we will get him on the phone. Where is he?
Japan.
Surely in his absence you have the authority to act.
We have no proof that she took them yet, Senator.
I still think Lily Bell's your girl.
Will you stop saying that?
Dr. Emmett,
Yes.
since Mrs. Savage can't have her bonds anyhow, I think I can help you.
Yes, Jeff?
Mrs. Patty didn't take the bonds.
How do you know?
Because I did.
I knew it. He was the thief. I knew we were being tricked. Oh, young man, hand them over.
Well, I can't.
Did you take them, Jeffrey?
Yes, I did.
What did you do with them?
I threw them out the window.
What's that quickly dinosaur watch from the window? Stop! We're cheesy, the Royal Game of India.
But, Jeff, you couldn't have thrown them out the window. The window is closed.
Oh, it's stuck.
What do you mean by misleading us?
Stupid ox!
He said he took the bond.
Well, he didn't. I happen to know he didn't.
Just so happened to know that.
None of your business.
How do you know, Miss Lily?
Well, because I had my arms around Jeff when the lights went out. I wanted to protect him.
Thank you, Miss Lily.
No, she didn't. I took them.
Harry!
No one else.
Miss Lily, something awful is happening! There's a fire upstairs with flames this high! Harry, you mustn't speak publicly. But there's a fire with flames this high at least!
Harry, will you please sit down?
Like I said, I can't. I'm full of pins.
Harry, where was the fire?
In the bathtub.
Harry, please.
But there's a fire upstairs. Please believe me.
Jeff, if you did take the bonds, where are they?
Well, of course he couldn't have taken them. If anyone should know that, I should.
Now I suppose you took the bonds.
Yes, I did.
Where
I
are they?
committed this theft with full knowledge of the stigma involved.
Where are they?
I won't tell you. Something's burning upstairs!
There's a conspiracy down here.
Somebody search her.
Greedy little man.
Miss Lily, will you please take Florence up to her room and search her?
Come along, please. I won't tell them, Mrs. Savage. Even if they put me in solitary confinement and cut off all my hair.
It's a waste of time to search it, Florence.
I suppose you took the bonds now?
No, but I know who did.
Who did, Hannibal?
It wasn't Mrs. Patty.
Oh, who was it?
It wasn't Florence either.
I don't want to know who it wasn't. I want to know who was it.
Is that good grammar?
If you ask a Mohammedan what God is, he'll tell you everything he isn't. It's easier than telling what he is.
And one of the things he isn't on your side.
Who took him, Hannibal?
Well, I know it was a woman,
How can you possibly know it was a woman?
because a woman pushed me out of the way to get them.
How do you know it was not Mrs. Patty?
Because Mrs. Patty doesn't use perfume.
Lily Bell bathes in it.
I was nowhere near the table.
Could you identify the scent?
I think so.
Well, I use gardenia. Fairy, what do you use?
Oh, no, Nate. I make my own.
Hannibal, smell Lily Bell.
I will not tolerate this. They're making fools of us for their amusement.
Smell anything, Hannibal?
Yes.
What?
Smoke.
High time!
You must be going insane. I smell it too.
Doctor, I found the fire in Mrs. Patty's bathtub.
The bathtub?
Yes, I'm afraid it's the bonds or what's left of them.
No. Patty, you're making some fire stuff?
Well, I mean, there's no way of telling what these are.
Well, the treasure hunt is over. That's all that's left of $10 million.
What about this bird piece? Isn't it worth anything?
Nothing. You miserable, useless creature! Do you know what you cost us?
Oh, let her alone! I have stood for as much bullying in my patience as I intend to. Now, be so kind as to leave at once.
I can't be poor. I don't know how.
It's all right, Lily Bell. We survived. We always have. I'm still a senator.
Lily Bell, I never intended it to end like this, believe me.
Take me home, Titus, please.
Titus,
Yes.
what happens to me?
Don't you worry. We had no intention of sending you to a public institution.
After all, we are savages.
Goodbye! Goodbye! We say goodbye to people we don't want to see again. Goodbye!
Oh, Mrs. Patty, I'm sure you hate tears too.
Oh, maybe she thinks her tongue is cracked.
Did you think you could change that, Mrs. Savage?
No one changes people. One makes changes people learn to accept. I had hoped by making them look like fools that they might look with understanding of the fools of good hearts.
Who are the fools of the heart, Mrs. Savage?
I'd say those who gamble on people and those who invest in kindness. Those who tout that position means prison or that manners means morals. And, of course, the rebels with no fear of failure.
That makes very good sense.
And justifies my being here.
Would you like to leave, Mrs. Savage?
They would never let me go.
They have nothing to say about it. No patients can be spinal until I made my decision. And I find no valid reason for your remaining.
Does that mean I'm free?
Well, I could release you on my own authority at once, but let me get the state medical inspector on the phone. Then I'll let you know for sure.
I think I'll go pack your things. We can always unpack.
You hate us.
Oh, why do you say that, Fairy?
You want to leave us.
Fairy, I must.
But you can't leave us. I haven't got you a going away present. Oh, maybe I can find something useful.
Oh, I'd like to find something too, if you'll wait.
Oh, fun. Come, everyone. Let's see what we can find.
I do hope I find something useless. I do hope a more practical tips.
I have something. I just remembered.
I'm afraid I don't have anything of value, Mrs. Savage. But I do have something on me that I value very much. My class ring. Inside it says, "Let there be light." Something Mrs. Patty would hate.
Hannibal, I couldn't take the ring off your finger.
But I insist. I just can't seem to get it off my finger.
Never mind, Hannibal. I appreciate the offer, the sentiment, and the statistics.
Oh gosh, I'm afraid my finger has gotten too fat on each side.
Don't worry about it. But you've had it for so long, it has become a part of you.
I'm out of breath, but I found something.
Ooh,
I hope you weren't expecting much. Then you won't be disappointed.
what is it?
A handkerchief.
It's a napkin. Most restaurants serve paper napkins that blot or smear.
I love it, Fairy. I'll take it whenever I'm invited out.
Oh look, it says the questions on it. Wasn't that lucky?
Oh, Fairy already got you something. What'd you get?
A hand-picked napkin.
Then it goes perfectly with my gift.
Ooh, how lovely, Florence.
What is it?
A salt shaker.
And full of salt, too.
Is it Sterling?
Of course, Fairy. I wouldn't dream of giving Mrs. Savage anything that wasn't sterling.
Oh, look! It's dented!
Really, Fairy? That's given antique character.
Indeed they do.
Well, I'm not gonna say goodbye. I don't like goodbyes. I don't recognize them.
Oh, you didn't expect us to say goodbye, did you?
I didn't even expect a salt shaker.
Well,
Hi, Mrs. Savage. We're so glad to have you with us.
we're glad you can stay with us. Have a seat.
Oh, I almost forgot. John Thomas asked me to give you this. He was afraid you'd catch his measles. Come, Fairy. Pretend it's garden hour.
Excuses, please. We have to go dig weeds. Mrs. Savage, take an umbrella. It's raining.
Well, Jeff, what did you get?
Just a book, but I hope you enjoy it.
Ooh, how lovely. The Lifespan of the Ape. You know, I've never read it.
I was lucky, wasn't I?
I'm going to read it tonight.
Oh, Mrs. Patty, we thought you'd forgotten us.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Patty. I'll sew it on at once.
I think it's intended to make an eye for the bear.
Well, of course. Bless your angry heart. You know, he's hated having only one eye.
I hate everything in the world. I hate everything in the world but you, Mrs. Savage. I love you and I wish you wouldn't leave us.
Aren't you amazed?
Well,
What? She spoke. She said she loved me.
Well, she had to say it.
well, Jeff, shall we see what the girls are up to? It's a lovely night, and everyone's polite. Oh, you have a good seat.
I think I got everything. Here's your $85 hat.
My beautiful and foolish hat.
You know, I think you've been wearing it backwards.
You know, I think I have. Oh, it's good to be straightened out.
Oh, where did everybody else go?
They gave me going away presents and then refused to say goodbye to me.
I bet I could guess what they gave you.
No, you can't. Mrs. Patty gave me an eye with which to see myself. And Florence, a grain of salt to take with what I see.
That's good. And Fairy?
A memory of loveliness.
I'm afraid to most people she wouldn't seem such a lovely girl.
Oh, she wears her plainness with great beauty.
And Jeff?
The Book of Job.
That's good. What about Hannibal?
I'd say he gave me an appreciation for music I never had before.
Well, I have something for you too.
Oh, you better behave yourself.
It's not much.
My buns! Where did you find them?
I didn't find them. I took them when the lights went out.
But why?
I'm not sure.
Don't tell me you're a kleptomaniac.
No, it was too quick to think. But what bothers me is that after I took them, I toyed with the idea of keeping them.
That's a normal impulse. What stopped you?
What Jeff might think.
That kind of thinking isn't good for you, dear. You should get away from here.
But you knew Jeff was my husband, didn't you?
I certainly did not.
Well, he is. And I want to be here when he recovers. And you know why I didn't keep any of that money? Pure selfishness. I want to do everything for him myself. Surely you understand.
The only thing I understand is how I could have ever felt so sorry for myself. Isn't there something about no fool like a you-know-what?
Something, but I don't think it applies to you.
Does anyone else know about these?
Well, I told Dr. Emmett.
Well, whether you like it or not, you're both going to hear from my memorial fund.
I talked to the medical examiner.
And?
The station wagon is outside, ready to take you wherever you'd like to go. Miss Millie, will you take Mrs. Savage's bags out to the car?
Yes, doctor.
I just got a few things for you to sign, Mrs. Savage, and then you are free to go.
Oh, I must be out of my mind. I don't want to go.
You mean you prefer to leave tomorrow?
I don't think I want to leave at all.
Why do you want to stay?
Suddenly, I'm weary. I would like to rest. I would like to be relieved of decision. I would like to close my eyes at night and know that there are walls to guard my sleep.
But the peace you find here is the moon reflected on a dark lake. Strike the surface, and you destroy it. Is that the kind of peace you want?
I want what everyone else wants, to want nothing. These people have found contentment.
How do you know?
I have eyes to see.
So is Jeffrey, but he only sees what he wants to see. An excuse for not facing the future. Does Florence see that her child was taken from her? Does Fairy see what the mirror should tell her? No. They found refuge in an eggshell world where you don't belong.
Then
You see yourself clearly, I'm sure.
where do I belong?
In the world you can best serve. The impulse to live your life with courage was right. Go ahead with your memorial fund. And don't be betrayed by the illusion of contentment. The door is open for you, Mrs. Savage. Make peace with your loneliness.
Oh, I'm glad you haven't left it. I just thought of what I can give you.
Hannibal, not your violin!
Oh no, you couldn't play it. I'm going to give you a song that you can take anywhere you go. Here is your song.
John Thomas!
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you guys